Hey, hello everyone, welcome to Dumbass and the FRANXX, the show where we watch Darling in the FRANXX and talk about it. I'm your host, Flornist, and
I'm your host, the other guy.
1, 2, 3.
And I'm your host, the other guy.
And today we're gonna be discussing the first 3 episodes of Darling in the FRANXX. Why 3? Because...
We fucked up.
Yeah, we did. You did, actually. I was ready to record after the first episode was out. But then we lost the footage for the first 2. And by the time we figured that out, it was 3, and it was like, but right now it's the morning on a Saturday. The new episode comes out tomorrow, and someone is not gonna sleep tonight because of the fucking podcast editing. So thanks.
You know what it's called? It's called work ethics.
Yeah, we got those for days.
Yeah, I store them as body fat.
You don't have any body fat. So.
Or maybe not. Like, okay, let's get this thing first. Like, one of us is fucking livid about this show, right? You fucking hate it.
Yeah, I hate it. I can't stand it. I think it's some of the worst anime that I had to sit through, and I've sat through all of Eromanga Sensei, so that must say something.
And I am I fucking don't care about this show. I have really no opinion one way or the other. I see the good things, I see the bad things, but I don't like it, and I don't hate it. So imagine the chemistry in this show. Like, it's going fucking great. This is the reason why we can't even start discussing this show. What is even there to discuss? It's like one guy screaming, "Oh, it's shit," and like the other guy is saying like, "Well, it's kind of shit,
fine.
But maybe not." It's fine.
But I gotta say, like, after, like, and I've told you this, like, before we, like, and we're gonna get to that when we get to episode 3, but I don't hate the show as much. Like, when I think back to it, I'm like, it's really bad, but I can't hate it because there's clearly some really creative people working behind it. But then I'm like, no, but that means there's, like, so much potential being wasted. I hate it so much. It's stupid. I hate it.
So you have confusing, oh no, you have confused sexual feelings toward this show.
Yeah.
Which is great because this show is about confused sexual feelings.
See, it's like poetry, it rhymes.
Yeah, so we have watched 3 episodes, and you know what people say about 3 episodes? It's a rule to watch 3 episodes to make a judgment about the show. So
yeah, that's usually how it
goes. Perfect timing. So let me say one thing. I think that this show is about teenagers and their relationships, where the word sex is in the script is exchanged with actual robot fighting.
Yeah.
And basically all the robot fighting is just a metaphor for sex. Or maybe not even a metaphor, but just allegory. A word-to-word replacement.
Allegory, I guess.
Maybe. It's literally, like, not figuratively literally, it's literally sex.
Well,
teenage sex. Awkward teenage sex.
And that's a fair assessment. And that's why I'm saying, like, I can't hate the show too much, because this is something that I think is at least creative to an extent. Like, I haven't seen that kind of sexuality thematically explored in other anime. Maybe I'm just, like, looking at the wrong place, but, like, that's my problem. Even though that is a cool idea, right? It's creative, it's clever, it's kind of cool, like, all around, it's neat. I just feel like it's being wasted behind this layer of inconsistent writing and kind of bland directing overall, and how there's just so much weird and wrong shit in there. Also, the robots are fucking stupid. I fucking hate those robots.
You just said blind erecting. Oh no, you just said bland erecting. And also, you just said fucking robots. Which is also true.
God damn it.
Them Freud slips,
Damn
bro.
Freud slips. Better get into my Freudian slippers from how much I'm Freudian slipping.
Well, yeah, I mean, the show isn't good. Like, it's watchable, it's fine, and I think it's going into an interesting place with its premise, but not even with its premise, but with its subtext, or maybe actual text context. But the second that they drop it, like, stop making it about sex, I'm like, all right, I'm done here because there is basically nothing else to watch it other than some commentary or interesting take on the sexuality. Like, if I'm just reading into it so much, then I will be disappointed, even though I don't really have any high opinion on the show yet.
Yeah, well, yeah, you bring up an interesting point because when the show is not about like tackling teenage sexuality, it is basically Evangelion light. And I know you haven't watched Evangelion, but most people who would listen to this podcast probably did. Uh, and there's a lot of straight up repeats from Ava. You have the child soldiers. You have the shot for shot inside robot shots. Like they are just Evangelion. They're just that. The plug suits look almost identical, and not to mention how the Klaxosauruses are blue. Blue. Maybe I'm
Also,
just
the butt dials.
what?
Butt dials.
Oh my god, butt dials. Christ. Now that works in the teenage sexuality aspect of the show, which is to say, like, this is like objectification that is happening. So I guess I can forgive it. I just can't forgive like the rest of the robot design.
The robot design is fucking awful.
It's
like
bad.
I can't. I can't.
I can't even. It's like there's supposed to be these military machines, weapons of mass destruction. First of all, why the fuck do they look like sexy ladies? Second off, why are they all different? Like that's something that's truly bugging me. Like, why does every robot for every couple is like specifically tailor made for that couple? If these are supposed to be like mass produced military, basically tanks, right, to combat the ever growing threat of Klaxosauruses.
Oh god damn it!
I'm never gonna stop calling them that because the sound that we watched is they're called Klaxosaurus. And that just sounds like some fucking Hawaiian, no, not Hawaiian, some rad surfer dude in a Hawaiian shirt just like walking around the beach and say, Klaxosaurus! So that's like my modem operandis every time I see that.
Yeah, and speaking about the robots, like the hero guy, the protagonist, he doesn't have a robot, right? Like, even if he was able to pilot and he had a co-pilot, there isn't even a robot for him. Like, there are robots for the other couples. Like, would they just throw out one of the couples? Like, what's going on here?
Well, the show avoids that question by killing off one of the other characters. So it's like, hey, now you have an open seat.
Yeah, but it's like...
Yeah, but no, I agree.
It doesn't make sense. It's a plot hole.
It's a plot hole that they tried to patch up by killing off one of the other guys. But up to that point, it's still a plot hole.
Is this what you... Do you think that it's what they are doing? I think that the show is doing the... his robot is now the girl's robot, like their couple.
Maybe, but like if you look at it from a writing perspective, the writers either didn't think about that plot hole, or they thought about it and like that's why the guy was killed. Because that way it serves two purposes. Because one, it shows that those who write with O2 die, and two, it frees up a robot just in case hero flips out at a halfway point. In the second act where like he's at his lowest point and goes full on Shinji Ikari, which is gonna happen. You mark my fucking words. He's gonna go, oh no, I can't pilot the robot. I'm worthless without piloting the robot. It was cool when Ava did it, and it was never cool ever again.
I want to give this show credit because the protagonist is not just a bland guy who doesn't want any shit. He wants to pilot robots,
that's
right?
Great. He wants to pilot the robot, and that's good. He wants to get into that O2 pussy. Literally, because as we just discussed, it is about teenage sexuality. That's what it's about, basically. If you read into it.
Yeah, but for some reason I don't want to comment on this
Yeah, yeah, it was gross. I apologize.
yet. So anyway, I think we should. I should explain this for a second here. Why are we even doing this podcast? Like, why? Why are we watching this?
Well, for one,
The reason is
yeah. Well, go.
it's a Trigger
Yeah, we
show,
both love
and
Trigger.
we are big fans of. Yeah, we are big fans of Trigger, of Kill la Kill. Of I'm personally a big fan of Kisniver.
No, I like his number too.
We are also fans.
Like, I mean, personally.
Well, I'm a big
Oh,
fan.
yeah.
You just like
Yeah,
it, but
dislike.
I'm a big fan.
Okay, that's fair.
We also like the Inferno Cop, of course.
Obviously, man, it's like the best anime ever. Turning Girls is really good as well. Did you finish Turning
Turning
Girls?
Girls was yeah. I watched it. I watched the whole of it.
It's not
amazing.
long. It's just one of those like really underground shorts that I think most people should watch just because it's really funny. It was really funny to me, at least.
Yeah, and so uh, we were very excited for the new Trigger show, basically. But the second that we knew that it was also an A1 show, we were like, it's going to be a train wreck, possibly.
And then they started releasing the character designs, and that's when like I was like, maybe this isn't gonna be good, because I remember when they started releasing them and they looked just like Anohana characters but with really bland looking uniforms. It was like, oh, I see where this is going, and this isn't going in the direction that Trigger shows usually go. I'm gonna give it a chance, but I'm not expecting much, and I was still disappointed. How did they do that?
It's the A1 talent.
Yeah, I guess. They have a tendency to ruin everything they touch.
Well. So we were just like chatting and decided that what if we record a podcast about this new Trigger show? We were like, hell yeah, let's do that. Like, because we were going to follow some winter anime, like maybe one or two. So why not make a podcast about it? And why not make the Trigger show the one that we will follow? So. Basically, what I'm trying to say, if you want to watch a seasonal winter anime, go watch Ramen Daisuke Kaizumi.
Oh my god, yes!
This is great A shit. Great A shit.
Oh my god, it's so good.
Alright, let's get back to talking about Darling in the FRANXX.
I would like
Darling in the FRANXX is not as good as
Ramen Daisuke
Kaizumi-san. Go watch it, and then maybe give Darling in the FRANXX a watch, but...
I mean,
we're not going to pressure you.
Does Darling in the FRANXX have an awesome jingle? I don't think so.
Jingle cue.
Yeah, but we really should go back to talk about Darling in the FRANXX because I actually have some good things to say. There are a couple.
Oh no.
I know, right? So there were a couple things in these 3 episodes that I actually thought were neat, at least to some extent. I think it's kind of cool how some of the names for some of the characters are actually puns based around their code numbers. Like there's Ichigo, who is 016, I believe. Yeah, and that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like how Ichigo is... Wait, was that? Yeah, whatever. The puns are cool. I appreciated those. There was a sequence in episode 1 when the Klaxosaurus attacked, and at first, animation is spectacular in the action scenes.
Well, it's true.
I like.
It's still a
I like the
show.
style. I like the animation. I'm cool with that. The music is fine, but there was one particular sequence in there when the Klaxosaurus attacked, and they cut to the dome where the what's it called the christening, I guess, of the new child soldiers was taking place, and it turns out that their big like leader figure wasn't actually there. It was a hologram. And it was just like a split-second shot of them like flickering in and out, and I like that because that was like really interesting world building because it told like, yeah, these are not important people. These people are disposable, so the leaders don't even bother showing up, and that was cool. I like that. In episode 2, there were a couple like really interesting character moments, like Was that episode?
The tomatoes.
Yeah, the tomato. The tomato being cut is great.
Tomato scene is tomato bit is my favorite fucking bit from the whole 3 episodes.
Which should tell you
I
something. It's
love
just
it.
a tomato
I
being
just
cut, and that's like his favorite thing.
yeah. I mean it's saying something, but right. It was so fucking great. It made me like really appreciate whole show. I made this whole show a second chance just because the tomato was cut in a funny way. It's
And there was
basically
also the scene where.
in the ki-
Yeah. Go on.
uh, it's during the lunch and the our 02 girl walks to her darling and calls him darling and Ichigo is fucking jelly.
She's so jelly.
So she was cutting the tomato and she puts too much pressure onto it, so her knife just slices through the tomato and hits the plate.
Yeah, it was a great
And
scene.
it's just it's basically silence, and then it's this knife hitting the plate, and then silence again. It was
Yeah,
great.
it's good.
Really
Yeah, it's
emotional.
good. And I believe in the same episode when O2 like kind of licked her cheek, and then like in the later scene when O2 approaches her, she just instinctively puts her hand on her cheek. That was like a small
It
moment,
was
but it was
great.
really nice because it's like character animation and like kind of like character. It's like consistent. It's like inner consistency, and it's great. It's undercut by the fact that writing on O2 is so infuriating. Oh my god.
They're so
Oh
edgy.
yeah. And then episode
They are
three-
edgy teens.
I mean, they're child soldiers for fuck's sake. You see, even Gillian kids were allowed to be edgy because they were way in over their heads, and the task that they were giving is like way more than they could handle, and like they don't know how to handle it. And here, these kids were fucking taking us kids, and so like, hey, your only purpose in life is to drive this fucking robot. Christ. It gets me so angry. And then episode 3 actually had some moments of like really cool directing. Like the shot of the dome, like the bright yellow dome when they like walking around like O2 and Hero. That looked nice.
Yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah. Problem was with that scene is that the writing was so spectacularly generic. It's like, oh man, that looks so cool. And O2 was like, does it?
I don't remember a single fucking word from this scene. I remember the imagery. I remember the colors. I don't remember what the fuck they were talking about.
I remember it because I heard it so many times that I specifically like said, "Oh my god, I've heard it so many times." Like the guy's like, "Oh, this is so cool," and the girl's like, "Nah, I've seen it a million times," and the guy's like, "But I didn't." And it's like that scene is everywhere nowadays. It's so generic. It's so textbook character chemistry that I think I actually have it in my ironic book, like as a joke. Oh my god, irony's
Well,
fucking dead.
I mean, also, what was really cool is how they got there. Like, 02 pushed him in front of her.
It wasn't the front. They
Through
were like
the-
they
through-
like danced their way through the force field, which seems like
Oh, right,
yeah,
right.
because they like took the ballet stance and just like pushed through the power grid.
Yep.
Yeah, and that was cool. That was
that's
also
what they
like
did.
kind of cool character animation moment. I like that. But the scene itself like looked great, but the substance was non-existent.
I feel like it's going to be the theme of the show.
Yeah, it looks great, but just
It
nothing
looks
to-
great, but the substance is not here.
Yeah.
And even the sex metaphor is basically not about the plot; it's about the visuals, right?
Yeah,
Like it's completely visual story.
for now at
I
least.
feel like Trigger just completely dismisses the A1 plot and just throws their own visual plots on top of it.
That would be great if that's what's happening. But still, like, at least for now, maybe the sexuality thing is still only like an animation thing. There were a lot of double entendres in episode 3, which maybe that means that sexuality is going to be present in the writing. I mean, hopefully, right? Otherwise, it's just why even bother, right?
Right. I think I will drop the series if it's not about what I think it is about.
By episode 12, like by the time the first core is over, we're gonna have to make a choice whether to continue it or not. But for at least 12 episodes, we're gonna be doing this podcast and be like, oh, I hate it, and you're gonna be like, oh, I'm so different about it. This is gonna be fan-fucking-tastic. Don't watch that.
Don't watch Darling in the Franxx.
Watch Ramen Dancing.
Please don't buy the Blu-rays. For God's sake, please don't buy their Blu-rays.
Don't buy the Blu-rays. Don't buy the figurines.
Don't support it.
Just don't.
Don't support A1. Stop.
Just stop. Just don't.
By supporting A1, you support terrorism.
Yeah, I agree. Another thing that I kind of liked about Darling in the FRANXX is... No, I think I've said everything that I liked about Darling in the FRANXX. The couple of really good character animation, the sometimes good colors and design, the animation's fluid and cool. There was one scene in episode 3 when they straight up stole the Shaft head tilt shot.
Yeah.
That was weird. Darling in FRANXX. Right, so
I think
we
I think that it's a mediocre show at best, but it's a solid mediocre show.
It's on the worst spectrum of mediocre. Like, you know how mediocre could be good mediocre or bad mediocre? Darling in the FRANXX is bad mediocre, at least for now. Maybe they do something good with it. I can definitely see the show getting good somewhere. I see the creativity of the people working on it. I see how it can be improved. But it's just bad for now. So...
And we will be there to see if it actually will improve.
Yeah.
Or else we are watching Citrus and then this shit.
Fate Extra Last Encore. What do you want to know what that's about? Check out B-side, Daddy in the FRANXX. That's the B-side of this podcast.
Right.
Yeah, we should quickly talk about how this podcast is structured. This podcast is actually a recording session of around an hour and a half, maybe sometimes more, sometimes less, where we just talk about the things that we talk, like whether it be Darling in the FRANXX or stupid shit, which is just mostly those two things. And Darling in the FRANXX discussion goes in side A, which is what you're listening to right now. Imagine that. And
probably.
Well, yeah, probably. And if you go over to side B, called Daddy in the FRANXX, you will hear a lot of other things like bloopers and things off topic from the Darling in the FRANXX. And if you go there right now, you'll also get to hear our thoughts on Fate Extra Last Encore. So, look forward to that.
We haven't actually probably said any thoughts. We just live watched it, and as far as we know, it's a shitty format for a podcast.
Well,
so maybe we should just...
Well, we said some things near the end there. That's enough things to carry our emotions.
Cut around it, yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that. So let's see. Closing thoughts on Darling in the FRANXX, episodes 1, 2, 3, go.
Solid mediocre show, yeah, with an interesting thing that can bring it out as a very interesting anime, or if they're not going this route, it's going to be a very boring anime. Yeah,
my thoughts pretty much the same thing, but I think the show has potential, but overall, as it is right now, it's really bad. It's mediocre and it's bad at points, and just no. Starting next week, the podcast is gonna be more structured, and we're probably gonna be talking about what actually happens in the episodes. Since we watched the episodes a while ago, we don't actually remember exactly what happens. We just remember the things that we liked and hated about the episodes. So that's why this episode was not as well structured as we would have liked. But yeah, starting next episode, which is gonna come out somewhere like Friday or Thursday maybe next week, hopefully. We're gonna be a lot more focused on the actual episodes. And, check out the B-side of this podcast to hear a lot more uncut thoughts, a lot more rambles, a lot more jokes, and Fate Extra Last Encore reaction.
The B-side is probably bigger than the A-side.
Yeah, the B-side is actually way better, so just listen to that instead of... Like, every single week, don't tune into A-side, tune into B-side, because that's just a lot more entertaining.
Unless you really want to hear us just slamming on Darling in the FRANXX, just listen to the B-side.
Yeah, that's where the actual discussions happen.
Right.
All right, let's see. Where, if the viewers or listeners want to find you, where can they contact you or like find you? Do you want to say that?
Yeah, you can find me nowhere, and yeah,
Great.
I have no social media.
That's great. You're a fucking hermit.
No, I just a functioning adult that doesn't need no social media validation.
And you can find me on Twitter. All the links.
Oh no! Wait! I have an Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Please validate my photos, though.
Yeah, he
I
has
have
an
an
Instagram.
Instagram. It's blobster.
All the necessary
I
links will
have
be
some.
in the description. His Instagram, my Twitter, my Discord, my Reddit, and my other things. I have a lot of social media, guys. Just please talk to me. I'm very alone. This was Dumbass and the FRANXX, aka Side A. Tune in next week when we kill ourselves from all of this garbage. Probably not though. Like, comment, and subscribe.
And go watch Citrus.
No, watch Ramen Dancing Koizumi-san.
Right.
Like, yeah. My name was Flornist.
My name is Oleg. You don't care about it, so don't
Yeah.
even bother.
And we'll see you next week / Inside B. So,
Yeah.
yeah. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.